Hi, good evening. I'm actually here in La Jolla, California, and continuing my conversations on basically well-being, mindfulness, meditation practices. So after my last Facebook Live, I think day before yesterday, a couple of questions I received was that, Punasha, what's your meditation practice? What do you actually do? What do you follow? So I want to kind of use this session today to kind of basically talk about some of the techniques I follow and what has worked for me, and also some of the research I've been doing and some of the meditation practices, especially in sound meditation. I believe the world is energy, and energy changes the way we see the world. And I think sound is a very important aspect of that. And sound has been, I think, very important part of multiple philosophies, Eastern, Western. You have Tibetan sound healing, you have music incorporated in every single culture all over the world. So today what I'm going to talk about is my own meditation practice using sound and energy healing, and touch upon a couple of things. And one topic I want to touch upon today is Om. Om, traditionally most people say is OM, Om, or if you look at the more traditional explanation of Om, is based on three syllables: A, U, and Ma. A, U, and Ma. And these are the root syllables, and I'm going to kind of talk about Om and kind of demystify some of the, at least from my perspective, some of my own research work I've done, or basically spoken to people on why is Om considered the kind of universal sound, or the sound of the universe, or sound of the cosmic forces. So this is really going to be my topic today. So I'm going to kind of maybe take a little bit of a detour, give some examples. I've seen a lot of interesting examples being used by people when they explain Om or sound meditation. So by the way, I want to big a shout out to Sheila Nair. Hi Sheila from Bangalore, and my wife Josie Machaya, who says hi. Good to see you on Facebook Live. Also Norma. Hi Norma, I know it's late for you in California. It's morning in India. So anyway, this is a good time to connect and also talk to some of the people I have not heard from a long time. Anyway, so the first one, starting off, from the time you're born, when you're a baby, what's the first sound most babies do? I see mothers over here on this chat. So typically the first sound a baby does is ah, right? When they get a little bit more vocabulary, they'll say ah, ooh. And then what's the third thing which typically babies utter? Ma, mama, ma. So ah, u, ma, ah, u, au, ma is actually pretty much ingrained in each baby, or at least a child. And in different parts of the world, the child is kind of the embodiment of God, purity. So one of the things I want to say is that these fundamental root sounds are what babies utter before they even spoke, before we give them a language, before we give them an identity, we give them a religion, we give them caste, creed, whatever, right? If there is no conditioning, these are the fundamental sounds, right? A, U, Ma, Mama, Ma, right? So that's kind of the basis. So that's one aspect of, and typically people say, a God, childlike innocence, a child is a representation of God, or godlike qualities. So if you kind of extrapolate on that, there's probably something there which kind of connotates this particular belief, right? The second aspect of it is that when you start looking at, let's say we could not speak. Let's say I was mute, I could not speak, and what would happen then? We would basically have interesting things like, let's say I could not speak. What would I do? And I could not move my tongue, or I had no tongue. The first thing would be So basically, without moving your tongue or without moving your mouth, what are the three sounds you can do? So these are the three sounds anybody can utter without having a vocabulary. So so speak to somebody who cannot speak. Those are the three sounds they will actually utter. So the belief over here is that Ma are the three fundamental, or the universal sounds, or the primordial sounds which really created this kind of, or the universe around us. And when you dig into a little bit more deeper and you start going into philosophy, right? So I talked about babies, I talked about if you could not speak and you could not move your tongue, what would be the three fundamental sound, AUM. And then we now start looking into the elements of what we, in Hinduism we call it the five Panchabhutas, right? Basically the five elements which make up the universe. It's basically earth, water, air, fire, and ether, right? Once again, it's earth, water, air, fire, and ether. These are the five elements which make up the universe, and these are the five elements which also make up the human body. So if you look at the earth, it's basically human body, it's bones and muscles, right? If you look at water, it is blood. If you look at air, it is basically our breath. If you look at fire, it is the heat in the body. And if you look at space, it's consciousness, right? So once again, the five elements of the universe with the five Panchabhutas, which is earth, water, air, fire, and space. And if you look at the human body, the skeletal system is basically earth. If you look at our water, it's blood. If you look at air, it's our breath. If you look at fire, it's heat in the body and consciousness. And basically our Eastern traditions and the wisdom traditions talk about balancing the five energies of the universe on the universe, and also balancing the five energies within our body. And that's really what mantra meditation or sound meditation is all about. How do we use the frequency of these sound and energy to basically balance the five elements which are there in the universe, and we are an extension of the universe. And Dr. Deepak Chopra's latest book, You Are the Universe, talks about it. We are the universe. We have these five elements within us. And anytime each one of these elements are disturbed or not in balance, there's basically disease, there's sickness, there's stress, whatever, right? So if imagine your earth element, your water, and your bones and your muscle structure are not balanced, you have chronic pain, right? If basically your blood is impure or you got issues with your blood, the water element, there's an issue. If there's issues with heat in the body, in Ayurveda we talk about Vata, Pitta, Kapha, right? And we talk about not being connected with the ether or the space or consciousness. We have an issue with who we are, who am I? So these are fundamental, I would say, tenets which have come across for hundreds and thousands of years. So what I'm really sharing today is my own discovery. This kind of journey of mine started in 2004. I think it started in 2004. And now when I go back and reflect on why did somebody who was a tech entrepreneur, really focused on technology, had nothing to do with spirituality or consciousness. In 2004, one of my very good friends, who was my chief operating officer, somebody I had worked with for many years, one day collapsed basically on the wheel of his car in Herndon, Virginia. He had just dropped his kid off at Taekwondo, and I was supposed to meet him for coffee at Starbucks, and I didn't go that day. And he had a massive heart attack. And basically I realized, all of a sudden, 1 hour ago, he had called me up, wanted to have a cup of coffee in Starbucks. An hour later, not there. This whole question of impermanence, who am I? What is life? What is the future? How do I tap into this consciousness? What is the universe? All these questions started playing. And today when I look back at the journey 2004 to 2017, I think I've had some learnings, and I'm really blessed to have worked with some amazing people along the way. So anyway, let me get back on track now. So we talked about AUM, how babies talk about it. We talked about how it's a fundamental speech, and as far as the elements of the universe. So let me kind of talk about a couple of other particular aspects of what is the right way, or what is the way to do Om. So it's not really Om, so basically a lot of different people use different ways to kind of say Om. But one of the examples I want to use today, and let's kind of practice it together, is to start with and just let's try it out, right? So if you close your eyes and say and actually keep your hand on your stomach, right? Just keep your hand on your stomach. You'll actually feel the energy radiating from your stomach. So when you say you'll feel the vibration in your stomach. Now let's try something else. Close your eyes and try this out. keep your hand on your chest and say "Oh, oh." Once again, when you close your eyes and you say "Ooh," you'll realize the energy is actually in your heart space, right, in your chest. And then now let's do the last part. You actually close your mouth, take a deep breath, close your mouth, and say "Ma" or the sound in your head. You'll actually feel the vibration in your head. So once again, let's put it all together. Take a deep breath and ma, and basically start with open your mouth. For the gently close your mouth, and for the ma, when the mouth closes, you feel the vibration. So let's try this out, right? What you'll realize right now is that you're basically the energy is vibrating through your entire body. And when you look at the chakra system, we have the 7 chakras, and when you say it actually starts vibrating the lower part of your chakra, which is basically your Muladhara chakra, your Swadhisthana chakra, your Manipura chakra, which is basically the lower part of your chakra. When you start saying "Ooh," it actually starts vibrating in the middle part of which is your heart chakra, your throat chakra. And when you say "Ma," it's it actually vibrates your Anjana chakra and your Sahasrara chakra. So the Om, Ma, is actually a way to use energy to kind of vibrate through your entire body and actually create alignment of the different forces or the energies within you. So once again, it's Ma. I mean, if I kind of take a little bit of a sidestep and I basically say, so what is the correlation with Hinduism or things like that? We obviously, typically you go to a meditation center, they say, close your eyes, put your hand in mudra position, start chanting Om. It's not Om, it's Ma. So Om. And when you do that, the theory here is this. The sound of which starts in the stomach, is where creation happens. That's generation, right? You generate. So when you creation, the lower part of your body is where creation happens, right? You have sexual organs, you have babies are basically there. You digest food in the lower part of your organization. That's generating energy for you, right? When you say ooh is actually the middle part, which is basically your chest and the heart area. What does that do? That preserves you, right? Or it's kind of the operationalizing you in the body. And then we say which is the head part, which is basically transformation. You can use it as destruction. So a very interesting analogy for this is God, right? God, or God. Can also say in the stomach area is generation, in the heart and chest area it's preservation or operational, and in the head we actually destruct and create ideas. It's seed. So God, or that's one way to remember it, or Ma, which is basically in Hinduism we say in the lower part of the area, which is the which is basically Brahma's creator. In the chest, which is basically the preservation, which is basically your Vishnu, and the head, which is basically the Ma, is transformation or destroyer, or you can say things like that, which is Maheshwara, right? So Brahma, Vishnu, and Maheshwara. So the creator, the preserver, and the transformer. And this is really how Ma is actually being used in maybe the narrative or storytelling, but the 3 primordial sounds of and Ma have now been used to kind of create mythology, stories, and things like that. But from my perspective, when I basically get into meditation, or if I'm really stressed, or if I'm driving in the car, it's actually a practice which I use. I basically take a deep breath, and within myself, I kind of reverberation of and Ma. And why? So what's the science behind this, right? So technically, look at it. We talk about science. Every minute, every second, your cell is being born, right? Cells die. Your stomach lining basically changes every couple of hours. Your skeletal system every 8 years. So I think your entire body is transforming all the time. So there is the creation, there's the destruction. So the question asked me, so what is being preserved? What is your memories, right? You remember yesterday, you remember today, you remember day before yesterday. And so if you look at even a human body, what's being created, what's being destroyed, and there's this chain of memories which are being operationalized or being preserved. So this is some of the thoughts I had on sound meditation, or how to use energy and meditate, how to kind of create these kinds of techniques for yourself. So one of the things I was also trying to look at is what sort of examples can I share with you guys to talk about AU and Ma. Is it just Hinduism, or is it been used across hundreds and thousands of years across multiple civilizations? If you look at the Christianity from an Aramaic language perspective, what do we say? If you go to the Vatican or you hear them say, they say Amen, right? So if you look at the Ma, and we take the N out, the in out, then you see and Ma actually being there even in Christianity, right? And if you now look at Islam, which is, once again, what's the word? Ameen, right? You see and Ma. So there are these universal sounds which are used across civilizations, across religions, right? And we start with babies, Ma, mama, right? So I think I'm trying to make my case here that this is nothing to do with religion. It's got nothing to do with, obviously there are narratives around religion, but and Ma are fundamental universal sounds which we can use to energize the body and bring in the 5 elements in our body into balance. So one of the things I'm passionate about is actually the project which I'm working closely with Rob and Lee, which is the Mindfulness Project. So anyways, I'm super excited. Hopefully you all go and support that and help this crowdsourcing project to come to life. But one particular example I wanted to leave behind is I was listening to the Dalai Lama speak about Om Mani Padme Hum. This is actually the Tibetan, the Buddhist mantra, right? Om Mani Padme Hum. And there's a very interesting, there's Om there too, right? Om Mani Padme Hum. So Om, or Auma, is basically body, mind and speech, right? What is the body, mind and speech? It is the cause of dukkha or suffering. So that's Om, right? So he talks about how our suffering, Mani Padme Hum. Mani is jewel or altruism. Padme is basically wisdom, and Hum is altruism and wisdom coming together. So Om Mani Padme Hum is basically let our suffering be transformed through wisdom and altruism. It's wonderful, right? So I think, so the goal over here is that it doesn't really matter whether you believe in the mantra or not, as long as you understand that energy and sound are an intricate part of the world, and we can actually change or impact each other and help ourselves using energy and sound as a healing modality, is something we all should at least take home, or at least that's what I believe in. So the message I had for you all today was, I was just thinking about, I want to write it down so I didn't forget. So at least just some of the things I kind of reiterate to myself is that you are your own master. Knowledge is important to utilize as human beings to realize the higher purpose, right? You are the universe, as Dr. Deepak Chopra says. So that's all for today. I think I wanted to share my meditation practice. So Auma or Om is something I practice pretty much on a daily basis, irrespective of if it's not 20 minutes sitting in a quiet place, which I usually don't do, but I'm technically driving for hours most of the day. So I typically practice my meditation or sound meditation when I'm on the plane, when I'm traveling, which I seem to do a lot these days, and that's pretty much it. So I want to wish you guys in the US a wonderful evening. And to my friends and family in India, have a beautiful day, and thanks for joining this Facebook Live. Give me your comments, feedback, and I think if you want me to talk about for my next Facebook Live, any feedback or topics, would love to share my thoughts on them. But that's it for today. So enjoy your meditation practice, and pick any path, like if it's dancing, music, sound. As long as you lose yourself, as long as you're in the pursuit of knowledge and utilize the knowledge to realize your potential, I think the world is going to be a better place. So thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.